Okay, hello everybody, as the cops come, or rescue squad comes barreling down 81 in the midst of this great snowstorm. At any rate, today I'm here to vlog for you all again. Vlog for the last time this semester in Digital Humanities, just kind of talking about what I've learned, taken away from that class so far, and how that might apply to my future classroom. I've talked before in some previous posts about kind of the two different levels of knowledge that I kind of see when you're learning about technology and how it relates to the classroom. That is kind of the immediate, the hands-on, actual technologies, how they can apply actual strategies you could use in your classroom. Then also the more theoretical framework of just more generally, how do we generally incorporate technology into the classroom? What are the things we generally think about? What are the guidelines we generally ought to consider? I think both of those levels are important. The strategy level is important because at the end of the day, theory doesn't do a whole lot for you if you can't find a way to put it into practice and to let it really enhance your teaching and the learning of your students. On the other hand, whenever we're dealing with technology, we have to realize that it's going to continue to evolve in all likelihood. So, we have to have more than just specific knowledge about specific technologies. We have to have kind of a broad theoretical approach, just understanding how we're dealing with technology in general, because there'll always be something new you're going to have to deal with. You can't always have specific guidelines in your mind. At the end of the day, I think, and this is true for a lot of things in teaching, you just have to have the disposition and the critical thinking ability to just sort of think it through and figure out what you need to do. I think there have definitely been some gains for both of those areas for me in this course. I've learned a few technologies, and I've learned how more elaborately to use some of those. Google Earth, for example, is something I had a lot of fun messing around with on my own before we used it in the classroom, so I felt like I kind of already knew that, but nonetheless, I still found out a bunch of interesting details about it, and I was just given the opportunity to think about how it really applied to the classroom. So that was just one example. There were a lot of things like Flickr and podcasting that I had known less about that I now really have some understanding of and know some ways that I can maybe incorporate that into the classroom. But overall, I think the one big thing that I'm going to take away from what I've learned so far, and this would fall under the bigger theory stuff, is just knowing that there are so many technologies out there. I've just heard about so many things in class and in the online conference that I've been attending that I had just never heard of before. Things like Flickr. Yeah, I've heard the word Flickr. I didn't know what in the world it meant. Ning, Jing, Skype, so many different things. And I reflect over what we've gone over so far. That's the main thing that I've really taken away. It's just mind-boggling just how many different things there are out there. And just that there are a lot more things out there than I realized, and there are a lot more things with specific connections to education that I hadn't realized. Things that aren't just, like I had said in a previous post, it's not just researching using a Google search, it's all the other Google tools that kind of go along with that help you to pinpoint your research and also to organize it, that could be very useful for students and really make this technology even more useful than if it was just a simple Google search. I think I could say that for a lot of the technologies that I've learned about, just learning that there's a lot more out there than that I knew about. I certainly haven't become a master of all of those, but I think what I mainly will take away from this course this semester is just that there are a lot of things out there, and I'll be a lot more interested in just looking and seeing what's out there that I can apply to my classroom. That's the main thing I take away from this. And we've talked a lot about how to apply things to the classroom, about making it meaningful, because that's our goal in the end, is making it meaningful. I don't really count that in what I've learned, because I feel like I already felt that way. that was already how I looked at things from the previous education classes that I've taken, and also just from working with technology, generally understanding what technology is and what it isn't. But that's certainly, my views on this has certainly been reaffirmed, that we need to make technology meaningful and not just there for the sake of it being there. Okay. And, well, I think that about does it. That's what I think I've taken away from the semester so far. I look forward to continuing to learn about technology integration in the classroom next semester. But for now, I'm going to be enjoying very much my holiday break, and I hope you do the same. Have a good one.